Welcome back everyone, Rob Marzullo here from Ram Studio Comics, and now we're going to draw the female torso and we're going to attach the pelvis or the hips to that form. So what I like to do is, like the previous lessons we've been talking about, we're going to start off with these blocky shapes, and keep in mind they're just for basic perspective. So you don't want to think about these too much as you start to draw over your anatomy. They're just there as a basic guideline to get you started. And the main thing that I wanted to illustrate here is that you see that they're at very different orientations. You know, the top upper mass of the body at this particular type of pose is very different on its angle. And notice that you get a pinching and a stretching. It's very important to take note of that with the body. There's a lot of yin and yang and, you know, forward and back and kind of things going on with the body. And it's very evident in the female body in the way that, you know, the hourglass form, and then any kind of pose that's stretched out, you're going to see that generally on one side, almost always. So, you know, just pay attention to little notes like that. Okay, so now when drawing the breasts, try not to draw them entirely spherical. So that's like one of the signs of being an amateur artist. You know, you see these breast shapes that are just like two big spheres right on the front of the character. And it's not well thought out, and it looks just a bit strange. Now I get it, you know, stylization choices, you know, sometimes artists are going for that and it looks cool in their style. So it's all up to what you really want to make your choice for that. But just keep in mind that they basically sit compressed a little bit against the rib cage. So, you know, you're going to have this kind of flattened shape to the one side and a little bit more spherical or more teardrop shape to the other side. So that's typically how I see it. Obviously there's a lot of interpretation there that you can do. But just try to get that more organic, soft feeling to them, and a flowingness, you know, than a rigid, circular, spherical shape. And notice too that they flow into the shoulders. So it's pretty much like they're connected, and obviously they're separate components and separate parts of the anatomy, but they react together. So as the shoulders raise, they're going to have an effect on the way that the skin bunches up or elongates to the side of the breast. So I tend to always think about those almost as one muscle group. So you'll see here I end up looking at this objectively and going, well, the hips are still a little too elongated. They're too tall. So the pelvis of the character just seemed to be a little bit too tall. And that's where, as you keep redrawing through this, you just start to make these choices and say, okay, maybe the lats wouldn't go back that far and connect to the shoulder. Little things like that. So you'll see I keep tweaking this as I go. But now a lot of that initial work has been done, and I can draw through this and refine it and kind of pick apart, you know, what kind of definition I want to see in a character like this. So with the female form, I think it's very important to be careful and err on the side of less is more when it comes to definition. Now, obviously, if you're drawing superhero babes like we are for, comics and things, then you're going to want a little bit more definition in the anatomy and the musculature, but you also still have to, you know, really walk that line, because if you apply too much, it just makes the character look a bit strange, and it takes away the quality of beauty. So with beauty, generally, you're going to want more flowing lines, more soft curves, and a little less definition. This applies to everything from the body to hair to the face. I mean, pretty much everything. It's kind of a rule that you can live by as it pertains to trying to get beauty in your feminine poses. So we're going to be doing more studies like this where we isolate parts of the body, and hopefully this will really enlighten some people into, you know, specific areas they might have trouble with. I have been listening to the comments, and a lot of people have been expressing on the channel here that they want to see more in the way of connection points, the way that the shoulders connect, the way that the legs connect to the hips. So we're going to delve into that a bit further as well, because that can be a tricky area. We're also going to get more into drawing clothing, and like I want to show you here, just by putting the clothing on the model, it helped me to see that the hips were, or the pelvis was a little bit too tall. So that's one of the neat things about applying clothing. Clothing provides you another landmark to kind of spot flaws as well. So there's all sorts of neat little tricks like that, or I find them to be helpful. But we're going to be doing a lot of different videos. So make sure you comment in the section below. Let me know what it is you'd like to see. We're going to do more poses like this coming up real soon. And then we're probably going to jump into some leaned over poses, because that's kind of where this started. I wanted to get into some leaned over action poses, but then I felt it was necessary to kind of maybe first study the torso and the pelvis in a little more detail. So there's that pinch and stretch thing I was telling you about right there. So that'll bring this one to a close. As always, I appreciate you tuning in and watching. Remember to like, share the videos, and let me know what you think and what you'd like to see in the future. So as always, keep drawing, keep having fun, and I will talk to you soon.